My name is Patricia Robinson, and I'm a poet. I'm from South Carolina. And I have two books out. You asked if anybody needed help with getting their name out there or anything like that. I'm one of those people who need to get her name out there. I was an addict for 31 years. I've been clean and sober almost 15. And like I said, I have a couple of books out through Publish America. And they take every dime, look like. They give you 2 cents off a dollar when they sell a book. So I'd just like to let you know that I need help doing what I want to do. And what I want to do is I want to continue volunteering like I do. At the jails, at the soup kitchens, at the pantries. I want to do all of that. But I would like to generate enough money to open a women's shelter here in South Carolina, down here where the city thinks that we don't have any homeless. And that's a farce, because we do. If you were to go to the food kitchens that feed on their different days, you would see that they're packed. So we got a problem here somewhere. Right now, we only have a shelter here in North Myrtle Beach, and there's a shelter in Myrtle Beach. And not really North Myrtle Beach, it's in Horry County, because North Myrtle Beach wouldn't allow us to put the shelter there. I'm just saying, I'm not asking anybody to give me anything, because I believe that my writing and my words can make money if I get the right visual opportunity. I really think so. I was in the jail yesterday, and it's just so powerful to me to be able to go into those places and tell my story after I was an inmate myself. You know, they asked me to volunteer to do just about everything here in South Carolina. I volunteer for the Fallen Soldier. I write about total strangers I've never met, but yet and still it relates. We become family when I write. I write for the 9/11 remembrance. Anything they ask me to do, I do. And everything that I do generates a crowd. But that's here in South Carolina. I'd like to start traveling. And I have 2 books on my computer right now to be published. But I would never want Publish America to publish another book of mine, because of the fact that they don't give you nothing from the books. They act as if they wrote the book and everything themselves, when it was all me and God that wrote that book. So I'm just asking you, please take a look at me. I know I don't look that good. I know I don't. But my heart is good. After 31 years of addiction and 15 years of being free, anybody can be sober. I'm free. I don't want anything. I don't need anything as far as drugs are concerned. I've buried a lot of my associates and people who used drugs with me since I came home from prison. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I was in prison too. I got my name from Susan Smith. She was in there down here in South Carolina, and they put me in the building where she was after she had that fiasco with the guards. And one day I was sitting in my room, and I said, what can I call myself? I needed a name, a handle, something that was catchy. And she said, Life Teller. I wrote about life, and I was telling about life. So that's what I use as my handle now, the Life Teller Poet. I thank her for that. It's just been hard, with the economical thing, and once you got to give up something, books don't seem pretty important. especially people that you've never heard of, you know. Like I said, I'm known down here, but that's all. I would just love to be able to come on your show and show you what I can do. I sent you a link this morning on your actual Facebook page, Dr. Phil. Now, I'd like to come on your show and show you just what God's put in my heart for me to tell other people, for me to share with other people that are going through and let them know that they are not alone. That if I can do it, anybody can do it. And if I can get to the point where they let this old junkie back in the prisons and the jails, then you know that's something. God had a hand in it. I live in South Carolina. I have a roommate. She's going through sobriety now for alcohol. That was a long, hard road, but I'm so glad that she's dealing with that. The hard road for me to deal with somebody going through again. But like I said, I go into the shelter and the kitchens and everything, and I try to relate to people who feel like nobody will relate to them. I'm trying to relate to them and see what I can do for them. And I want to do it on a mega scale so I can get in there and actually, instead of volunteering all the time, give some money to help for this shelter that I pray for every night to be built for women and children. This lady that actually built the original shelter, Dana Black, she wasn't a person struggling like me. She was just a person who God put on her heart to do that. And then once she met me, and she knew that that was what I wanted to be involved in, she allowed me to be involved in that. And if I miss one day, they ask, where am I at? You know, because I try to be, even on my down days, I try to have an up attitude for them. Don't nobody want to see nobody walking around with their face all turned down and frown, because they got their own issues. And believe me, every day is not a smile on my face. Every day there is not overpowering joy, because I go through things too. But I would just like to be able to do what God wants me to do. And that's help people less fortunate than I. You know, it's not all about me. It's about people that reach to me to get to where they need to be. You know, when I was released in December that year that I was released, and I was going through a whole lot that morning. And, the radio show came. I turned on the radio and listened to the radio, and it was about a recovery center that says, if you need help, call. Now, I'd been in there all the time. Now, all of a sudden, I'm listening to a radio show that tells me, if you need help, call. Do you know how confusing that was for me? But it wasn't for me. It was for a young girl who I met at the bus station on that day, because I was scared to have anybody come to pick me up. Because every other time, I was high before I got to the highway. And I was determined to do this with me and God. Nobody else come to pick me up. Nobody else being that good buddy that the devil sent to bring you the wrong things. And I met that young lady. She was a crackhead. And I used that phone call for her. And that day I knew that I would never use another drug again as long as I lived. Never. I just want to say thank you, Dr. Phil. And please consider me to be on your show. Thank you.